Let me tell you why you're here.
I've seen things.
Oh my god.
Whoa, yeah! You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Guaranteed to jack you up.
This is the I've Seen Things podcast. Welcome, welcome. Much love and good vibes all around. I got my friend John here again.
What up?
It is great. I haven't talked to you in such a long time. My God, man.
I know, it's been forever. I hope everyone ate their veggies from last episode after I suggested it.
I'm sure somebody out there did.
Because it's not like I just said it like 4 minutes ago. Thank you. Thank you. Whoever ate their veggies, good job. I'll give you one cookie.
Don't promise anybody anything.
Parentheses, you will not be getting a cookie. Parentheses, I don't want to get sued.
Civil lawsuit. This motherfucker owes me a cookie, man.
See, it's actually a trap. If you're eating your veggies, you shouldn't be eating a cookie that I'm offering you. You should be eating more veggies.
All right, Captain Planet, relax. All right. Jesus, let's hop into Scream 4. Now, I love Scream 4. I think it is the definitive sequel to the original. I think it is a perfect follow-up. I feel you don't need 2 and 3. That's my personal opinion, and I feel like they don't really reference 2 and 3 too much in 4.
Yeah, not really. I think the only thing they mentioned is Randy's death. Wait, do they mention it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's very loosely attached to 2 and 3. It's very distant, you know, and this was made in 2011, guys. This was 11 years after the last one, so it is extremely distant. Times have changed. They felt the need to come out with another one because around this time, reboots were big. 2009, 2010, like the 2010s era. You had Dawn of the Dead.
We also had Rob Zombie's
Zombie's Halloween. Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street, which I did not like at all.
I hate that movie.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. Those remakes, I think, were good. And then we had like the Evil Dead remake in 2013, a little after. I thought that one was really good.
Didn't the Friday the 13th one come out in 2013?
No. Friday the 13th was 2009.
Oh, that was 2009? Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought that was 13.
I think that was the first one to start the reboot craze.
I thought it was Rob Zombie's Halloween. 2007.
Really?
Rob Zombie started it all. Yeah, I also didn't think it was 2007. I thought it was 2008.
Okay. I didn't think his would be first. I thought it would be Jason. Okay. Interesting.
The reason why is because Michael Bay produced Friday the 13th, and I don't think he would do it unless he saw that another franchise did it successfully.
That makes sense. Yeah, which I do like the Rob Zombie movies. I have my issues with them, but I like them. I can watch them.
Anyways, Scream 4. We don't want to keep getting sidetracked.
Yeah, so Scream 4. Yeah, I would say this is probably one of the weirdest openings because at this point in 2011,
yeah,
we see that Stab has 7 movies now.
I'm honestly not really a big fan of this opening.
Really? You don't like the fake outs?
Yeah, I think it's kind of stupid. Every time I start up Scream 4, I'm like, oh. I don't know, I just think it's...
Yeah, it's okay. I mainly like it because we see Kristen Bell, total babe,
yep.
Love her. We have the chick, I cannot remember her name for the life of me, but she played Rogue in the X-Men movies.
Was she Catwoman too?
No,
or...
she was only Rogue.
Wait. Oh, I'm getting it mixed up with Storm. I don't know the X-Men. I don't know the X-Men.
Oh god, that is...
I was thinking about Halle Berry. That's what I was thinking of, because she was also an X-Men.
Yeah, she was, but her and this chick look very different. Very different.
Oh, well, I don't remember.
The opening could have been better. They did have an alternate version.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, I think it was a bit darker. You actually had Ghostface like creeping around a bit more, and you actually get to see the bodies. Like they get killed in different ways. One of the chicks gets hung up like Tatum, but it's like from like a ceiling fan.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I would have really liked that because, I mean, they were very simple stabbings, you know, nothing great. You know, it's just further establishing the universe that we're in and all these movies. And it's funny, we're about to have 7 Scream movies. And yeah, they have 7 stabs. So it's pretty insane we're actually going that far. I honestly never thought the Scream franchise would be that far. I never saw it going far, like Halloween or Friday. I really never saw it going that far, especially after this one being the last one that Wes Craven directs. He died in 2015. This was the last one that he did. I really did not see Scream going anywhere after he passed away. I thought this was 100% a shelved property, that it was not going to go anywhere else. I think he did an incredible job following up one. Not saying that's what he was doing, but I kind of see this as like a legacy sequel or a requel, which a lot of people would call it, which technically what 5 is.
Yeah, that's what Fives likes to say it is.
Yeah. I will shit on this movie for one thing. This is a terrible looking movie.
I was thinking the same thing. I wrote that note. Why does it look so fucking weird? It's like milky. It like looks really bad. I don't know why they put like that filter over it, but it does not look good.
No, there's like 2 scenarios that it could be. One, they have Vaseline on the lens, which is a cinematographer trick,
Which is probably what it is.
or they just fucking copied and pasted this one filter over the whole movie and it's just there. And it looks fucking terrible.
Yeah, I was like, my main complaint with this movie is that it looks awful. I don't understand why like they put this filter. Everything just seems. I mean, I already said it looks kind of milky. I just don't know why everything is so smooth looking.
I hate it. I think there's this one scene where you see Gail and
Oh, yeah.
behind her is completely overexposed white. And it's so washed out and just so bright behind her. It looks like she's
Yeah.
walking out of heaven. Like, that's how bad this movie looks, guys. They have such a large aura around them. And it's most likely because there's Vaseline on the lens. Do you happen to know why that is a trick?
Yeah.
I do not know for the life of me.
Actually, my friend did it for something. It is good at giving that look. He did it for like a comedy movie.
Mhm.
So it makes sense. I think it makes sense in like a context of it being like a romantic movie or comedy or something like that. But something that's like horror, and horror is known for like their harsh shadows and kind of
I
like
love harsh lighting.
that kind of like harsh look. Yeah, I mean, all the other movies. I mean, actually, I would say Scream for the most part is pretty soft
Oh,
lighting.
yeah.
But even then, like it doesn't look like this. Like this is like ridiculously soft. Yeah,
It's all fairy like.
yeah, it's dream looking. Yeah, it's like
I was just about to say it's dreamy. Yeah.
I don't know why they chose that. I think it's fine. Like I mean, I don't have any complaints. I don't think the Scream movies like I don't think they look like fantastic. But I mean, like they look bad either. This one looks like bad.
But that's usually my only gripe with this movie. Other than that, I think this is a really high contender. We'll get into the ratings and then we'll get into a bit of the synopsis of it in a minute. All right, IMDb rating. What do you think it is?
Do people like this movie? Because I can see people not liking this movie.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I really have no idea. I feel like 4 does not get talked about enough.
I've talked to some people who really don't like this movie, and then I know people who really do. So I'm gonna go and say like a 7. I'm gonna say it has like around a 7 IMDb score.
It has a 6.2.
Damn. Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes critics.
Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna go around the same. I'm gonna say like a 62.
60. Close.
Oh, all right. I'll take that. That's a dub in my book. I'm within 5% range.
Yeah. So, audience, what we got.
Oh God.
This is the one.
I'll go like a 75 with this one.
56.
Wow, that is low. Damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really do feel like not enough people talk about this movie. And it's a shame because, and this is going to lead into the synopsis that we're going to discuss in a minute, but this movie, I feel like is extremely relatable. I said this in the last episode. It is very much relatable nowadays and how much clout chasing is running amok in young people and or just anybody in general, honestly, not even just young people. I'm not even going to diss people like that. Anybody in general that's trying super hard to be famous. This is exactly what this movie is criticizing. And it does a great job. This movie was made in 2011. So this thing is like making a commentary on influencers. And this was before influencers were really a thing, before YouTubers were really getting paychecks and stuff like that. So this was really ahead of its time, ahead of the curve. And they somehow knew where we were going as a society. And man, does it speak volume nowadays.
So Sydney Prescott, she's doing her thing in this universe, and then people start killing again, and then she gets roped back into it, just like every other movie.
Yeah.
But this time, her cousin is it? Yeah, it's a cousin, right?
Yeah.
And then the movie starts killing people, and then the twist happens
I
that
feel like you're giving the most basic like breakdown ever.
and then it's revealed that Jill is jealous of Sydney for getting all the attention, so she tries to make herself the sole survivor, along with Charlie. That's his name, right? The
Charlie.
movie guy. His name is his name Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah, and then she kills Charlie because she wants to be the sole survivor, and
Yeah.
then she finds out that Sydney actually didn't die, so then she tries to kill her in a hospital, and then you get the most epic kill ever, and then that's the movie.
I don't know about most epic kill, but yeah.
I don't know. I think it's I don't know. I think it's kind of funny.
No, it is 100% funny. I don't think it's the best kill in the movie. I mean, we'll go to that later when we're talking about
Oh
favorite
no,
deaths.
I just think it's
No,
funny.
yeah, it is. But yeah, so this movie, I love the motive. I like Jill's character. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, not saying Jill does a whole lot. She's very reminiscent of Sydney back when she was younger. In the first movie, it does a good job of establishing that, like, not a super deep character, but it's when the motive gets revealed. That's when it's like, yo, this character is kind of deep. This character has some stuff going on. It makes a lot of sense, like, once she goes through everything.
Yeah, I think Jill might be the best killer since like the first one.
Oh yeah, her and Charlie, they do great. Charlie, his motive, he just,
Yeah, he's just kind of there.
I don't know. I think he just follows. Yeah, I think he just follows Jill. He just does what Jill wants to do. Kind of. I guess they're a thing.
I think he just wants to fuck.
Probably. I can't. I think in a note I wrote him down as a bit of an incel.
Yeah, he is.
And another thing, this movie does, I feel like, everything right, because Sydney, she doesn't live in Woodsboro anymore. I think she still lives in California or something like that, but she's on a book tour. She finally wrote her own book, which is great. She's making her money. She's getting her fame. She's now owning the situation that happened back in Woodsboro. So she's doing her book, and it's the last stop. Woodsboro is the last stop on the tour. And after those two women in the beginning get killed, their bodies are found in her car, which makes perfect sense to leave her or to keep her there because of the investigation. She cannot leave town. Really good idea. I think writing wise, they did a great job on this one. They hit all the marks, because anybody would be like, oh, why the fuck is she staying there? No, she needs to go. And they actually have a decent reason for her to be back in town, and she has to be around, well, her only family that's there, because I think I read somewhere, I think her dad passed away between 3 and 4. I think that's like an in-universe thing, so she hasn't been back to Woodsboro, but she goes back for that. So she goes and rooms up with the only family she has. You got Jill and her mom, which is her mom's sister. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And you got all this jealousy brewing up from Jill, because growing up, all she ever heard was, Sydney this, Sydney that, always. And her mom also has some more depth. And I kind of hate that they cut out scenes of her as well that establish she does have a bit of a jealousy and attention-seeking problem, because her sister was always talked about as well. So I completely understand the whole favoritism thing with siblings. I had my own issues with that. So it's like I kind of see that, where you could kind of envy somebody you're related to for the attention that they get. So I think they did a really good job with motive and really crafting this movie and this story all together. And I know this is all like before we're actually going in the notes, but that's like the story of it.
I appreciate it, because I mentioned Scream when we talked about Scream 2 that I felt like the killers weren't really involved like in the story, but literally like the killers like the main character in this basically, and it's kind of like when you get that twist, you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, how did she do it? We were with her all movie. I don't think I've ever had that like that feeling since like the first one, where it's just like there's no way like she did that. That doesn't make any sense. But like in a good way, not like in a bad way. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, not like the fact she's 5'3",
yeah,
taking on people, but
yeah. I mean, all of them do
yeah.
that. I even noticed that at 5 with one of the killers. I was like, ain't no way.
Ain't no way, bro.
I just love the feeling, and I love Jill as a character, and I think her motive, like you were saying, makes perfect sense. Charlie's, I mean, like, let's not pretend like Stu's motive was like anything like
He was just a
amazing. He's
follower.
basically just he's basically Charlie's basically just the Stu in this movie, which is fine. I mean, like, and I also love. This might be jumping ahead, but I love when Jill just like throws herself into everything to make it seem like she survived. I think that is so.
Yes.
It's perfect because it's like
Big brain.
it's it makes sense and it's so fucking funny just to watch her like crash into everything.
Yeah, ultimate playing victim, dude. She did a full-on Yu-Gi-Oh trap card and just started hurling herself into the wall. Like, she goes ham. She was not trying to do just the simple, like, stab like Billy and Stu were trying to do. No, she was fucking
she was
herself
committed.
up. She was like, no, these guys are going to believe. Yeah. She knew, like, people were going to believe her that she got fucking wrecked.
I also think Gale.
man.
I actually like Gale and Dewey in this movie. I mean Dewey's just doing his cop thing, which is like
Dewey's
makes
great.
sense.
Yeah.
Gale, I also appreciate. I know you don't like her, but I think in this one it kind of makes sense because she's stuck in this like writer's block. She tries to go back to something that like made her big or like something she's comfortable with.
Which makes a lot of sense.
It does make
I'm
sense.
okay with that. I may not like the character, but it makes so much sense for her character.
Yeah, and she's not.
And that's the point.
She's not like a douche about it. She's not like she went back to Scream 1 like Gale Weathers. She's just going back to like the source material that makes her feel better.
Yeah. She wants to feel important again.
Yeah, exactly.
And she finds that by like being a hero. In this one, she tries to be a hero. And it's funny because, like, not saying like Sydney became Gale, but it's the fact they kind of swap roles because Sydney now has a book and is profiting off of her tragedy, which I think is perfectly fine. It was her tragedy. Makes perfect sense. Gale shouldn't have been the one to do it, but she did. She was a shark. You know, she did what she had to do. And now that Sydney has success, she doesn't have any. So another point of attention seeking as well, a little bit of envy, but she's supportive of Sydney as well. That's another thing. Their relationship has continuously gotten better throughout these movies. The first movie, they fucking hated each other. Second movie, it was kind of like, oh, hi, you know, yeah, we're here. I guess good to see you. Glad you're doing all right. The third movie, they're kind of hugging it out like, oh, I guess we're cool, you know? Like, we've been through some stuff. And this one, they're like family now.
Yeah.
And they can see each other, hug each other right off the bat and stuff. So it's like really good development of their relationships there. And I feel like this is the best I've seen Gale. Because she's not a complete asshole in this one. Like, she's definitely trying to just do good, you know?
Definitely. And I also like how, even though Sydney's the one with, like, the book tour, she still has her limits. Because doesn't her, like, agent, like, try to get her to profit off, like, what's going on now? And then she's like, no, and then fires her. So it's nice to see that like Sydney has her limits too. Because if that was like Scream 1 Gale, she would be like, oh hell yeah, like let me get that bag. So it's nice to see that like Sydney's not just Gale.
Yeah, no, I love that. They really stay true to like her humility. Every character has great development here. Dewey is now a very self-sufficient cop. He's not as goofy or anything. He's definitely, he's definitely on par. He's the chief in this one, right?
Yeah. One of the higher ones, whatever they're called.
He definitely has some authority and maturity to him.
What do you think of Judy?
Judy? Dude, just the way she, not shitting on the actress or anything, but her face is so funny to me. She just looks like a lost goldfish, kind of. And it trips me out. It kind of just really trips me out. It's like when she just stares.
Yeah.
But she 100% wants to fuck Dewey.
Yeah.
She is.
I like that.
She is trying.
I like that little undertone.
Like who just says this? I don't even think it was an undertone. It was dicks out, man. She was like, "Oh, it's not cheating if you eat my lemon square." And they're like, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Who says that? That was such a weird statement. Granted, I think he was talking about his diet.
Yeah.
But, like, I think they were just talking about Gale right before, too. So it's, like, a double meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's so weird. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. Lemon squares do not sound good. I've never had one.
All
And it
right.
does not sound appetizing to me. I don't know. I don't know. That's just me.
As someone who does not like fruit, they're pretty good.
Wait, you don't like fruit?
You don't know this?
No.
How do you not know this? It's like a hot conversation. I'm like, yeah, I don't like fruit.
Wait, you just don't like fruit?
No.
Like that's it? During Pride Month? You really?
I
Just don't like fruit?
I like my vegetables.
All right. All right. All right. But we get some interesting people in here, and I think casting choices I definitely want to talk about. We have one of the Culkins. That was really funny to me. I swear, until Scott Pilgrim, I never knew there was another Culkin besides Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
I never knew there was more than one. So when I saw him, I'm like, dude, that guy he looks like somebody. And then I think I had like my mom or somebody tell me. We have Anthony Anderson, which he was in some of the Scary movies, which I think is really funny because they're complete spoofs of
Yeah.
the Scream franchise and other horror movies. So I think it's really cool he got to play in both universes.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam Brody is in here. He was kind of I don't know to count him as a heartthrob back then, but in the early 2000s, people were like really into him. A lot of people found him hot for some reason, like Twilight era. He just looks like that guy. I don't know, that just scrawny, tall, like kind of emo-ish, like white guy that
What
girls were
characters does he
just
play
into
again?
around that time. They're both cops. Anthony
Oh, okay.
and Adam, they're both cops.
Oh, okay.
But he was also in Jennifer's Body. He was the lead singer of like the group Low Shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I only know because I swear I recently watched that like not too long ago, probably like a month ago or so. Jennifer's Body is dope. But yeah, we also get Hayden Panettiere coming hot off of Heroes. It was a great show. They got fucked up by the writer's strike. Hayden Panettiere is always a win. She's a babe. They did really well on casting in this one.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does a really good job.
And good characters, like side characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except the boyfriend, Jill's boyfriend. He is barely there, and when he is, it's kind of like he still isn't anyway. There's not much personality or anything to him.
Yeah, I honestly kind of forgot about him, so.
Exactly. I think he's like a Billy stand-in, like the red herring, like the boyfriend, don't trust the lover
Yeah.
type of deal. Other characters have way more development than him. You got the film nerds, like Cinema Club, I think that's what they're called in
Yeah.
this one or something like that.
Which I fucking love them. I think they're so funny.
No, I dig them. They're great. You got the one dude's live streaming all the time, which is great.
Yeah.
Another thing, it wasn't ahead of its time, but still kinda, because around this time, Twitch, I think, was just becoming a thing right after Justin TV, which for any old heads out there on the internet, Justin TV is what became Twitch because the guy was like literally streaming months of his life every day and wearing a headset just like that. So definitely took inspiration there. I thought that was kind of cool. And nowadays you got people literally doing the same exact fucking thing. It's very embedded in the culture, or at least it called the culture way beforehand. Olivia's like another one. She's like the third friend, but she doesn't really do a whole lot until she gets killed, which, spoiler, it's already my favorite kill. I know I usually save it for later.
Is that the one where she's looking through the different house?
Yeah, she's the one that gets killed in her bedroom.
Yeah, I love that kill so much. That's my favorite kill too. And it's also a great way to throw the audience off that like it's not Jill.
Mm-hmm.
What leads into that is like so good. So because it's like you like like you must be in this house, and then he's like, I'm not in your house, and then you're like, oh, it flips what we're used to so well.
Because he does the whole phone call thing. He's like, oh, like check the closet, and he knows what movie they're watching, so it really gives you that impression. Oh man, like he's in their closet, he's about to kill either Kirby or Jill.
Mm-hmm.
And then they open the closet, it's like, oh, you're not here. Oh, I never said I was in your closet. And it just fucking comes out and just starts fucking up Olivia. Man, I was like, whoa, dude, that is so sick.
It's such a good kill.
Oh, dude. My thing is, how the fuck did he know what movie they were watching? Because they had a small TV, and they were all the way across another house.
He's part of the film club, so maybe he just kind of like barely recognized it.
All right, I'll give you that one. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, the TV's small, but I mean, like that could be the explanation why.
Anybody can do that. If you really like a movie or something, or if you know stuff, you can identify it with like a still frame or anything like that.
If you've seen things.
Yes, exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, we have definitely seen things. And lately, John watches way more movies than I do, but he also is in film school. I'm going to shout out John's Letterboxd. Honestly, dude, your reviews fucking trip me out. Even for movies I have no idea or no intention of watching, I still look at what the hell you post. And you're always getting likes, dude.
Those are my friends. They just like them.
Oh, I'm just like, bro, this guy just like racking up likes. What the fuck? Like, damn, dude, people really like your fucking comments, man. Damn. Check out John's Letterboxd. It'll be in the description as well. It's great. But see, like, you actually got like other people to watch them with, or you just watch them by yourself.
Yeah.
Me, I always have to fucking wait for Karen. And that's why I can't watch movies sometimes. Because, like, no, I want to watch this with her. I got to wait and stuff. Because I know, like, she'll probably never watch it if I just watch it without her. And then it's like, great, I can't talk about this movie with her or something like that.
I usually save. I know the movies that I'll watch alone. Like, I'm sure my girlfriend doesn't want to watch some fucking black and white movie that came out in the 1950s or whatever. So I think I'll probably just watch that on my own.
Yeah. But speaking of movies, I love this. They also introduced one of my favorite things going on in this movie, and I wish was a thing in real life, and it might be somewhere, but definitely nowhere around me, sadly. The Stabathon.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I like the whole marathon.
Dude.
I kind of wish they did more marathons in the real world. We're getting off topic, but I wish they did more marathons. I know they usually do one at, like, AMC when, like, a new Star Wars movie comes out or something like that. But, like, just put on, like, a random series. Fucking, like, put on, like, Nightmare on Elm Street. Put on, like 5 Nightmare on Elm Street movies in a row or something like that.
I really wish they would. They definitely need to. Because, and ladies and gentlemen, we get to speak from experience. We worked at a movie theater. Anytime we would show classic horror movies or just some classic movies in general, or not even classics, but movies that aren't in the theaters anymore and that haven't been for a while, for anniversaries or special events or anything, those tickets will sell.
Oh, yeah.
People will come and watch them. Sometimes shit will nearly sell out. Like, it really depends on the movie, you know, especially if it's like a one night only type of thing, or like just a handful of showings and then that's it. Like, it's gone and you never know when it'll be back. And I'm glad movie theaters do this. I really wish they would do it more often, like John was saying. Like, I think the most recent thing I watched was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
For the 45th anniversary.
40th.
40th? 40th.
Yeah, 40th.
40th anniversary. So glad I got to experience that. And now I'm waiting for a Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. I'm waiting on those to have big anniversaries so they can go back in theaters so I can experience those. These are experiences people want. So Stabathons and other types of marathons, it needs to happen. It needs to make a comeback. It is so much fun, especially if you get a lot of friends together. We thought the opening to 2 was awesome, and movie theaters doing that. A community coming together and having like this underground marathon of movies of I guess you could say cult classic. Like that's what they are in that universe. And this is where some cool stuff pops off. You get Gail trying to sneak around, do her investigative journalism shit all over again, hanging up wireless cameras now, and spy on more drunk teenagers because I think that's perfectly legal. What do you call it? She gets caught off guard there. She actually gets stabbed there. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish they would have killed off Gail. I kind of wish the stakes were a little higher in this one for the OG cast, because not everybody should live all the time. You know, I like the characters, but not everybody should stay alive.
Why don't we talk about Kirby?
I love Kirby. She is such a great character, man. Glad she made it back for 6. It was really awesome. Spoiler alert, she doesn't die in this one. But I think that was confirmed in 5. She's a smartass. She seems to be very tough. She obviously has the hots for Charlie. And I think they would have been cute.
I think so, too. When they didn't come together, I was like, no, please! But somebody, like, cockblocked them.
Yeah, dude, the boyfriend cock blocking, and then he's just like a dick about it. It's like, oh, were you guys about to do something? Oh, man. And dude, he sells that part so well, where he's like visibly angry and uncomfortable, but he's the scrawny kid, so it's like, it's like, what is he really gonna do against that guy? And he just like storms off, and Kirby is just staring like daggers into this dude, and it is like, who the hell invited you? Why are you in my house? And like the whole time, nobody could figure it out. Man, it was great. They had chemistry. I really liked them together. It's like, man, I hate that you guys aren't becoming like a couple after this. How Robbie leaves them because he kind of gets the idea something was going on. Yeah, he gets killed.
That's the webcam guy, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love this moment where he does start to get killed by Ghostface. Like you can't. I'm gay.
Oh,
I don't know where he got that rule from because I don't know any movies where it's like, if you're gay, you live. I really can't think of one. Do you happen to know?
yeah, I think he was just making it up.
He might have been? Okay. I like how Ghostface just like tilts his head like, the fuck? And then just goes to stab him again.
I love how he discovers that Ghostface is there because he like gets jump scared by his phone, like because the camera's pointed the wrong way.
Yeah. That's good shit, man. That's really good use of like their props and like everything having a purpose and really using it to like its fullest potential. Going back to the whole gay thing, I wish I knew which Ghostface it was, if it was Jill or Charlie. Because imagine, like, you're Charlie, and this is, like, this guy's best friend, I'm gonna assume. And this is him telling him, like, wait, I'm gay. And he's just looking at him like, wait, been gay this whole time?
It must have been Jill because Charlie was inside with Kirby, I think, at that moment.
Yeah. I think you might be right. Before we get off of this movie, one scene did make me cringe a bit. Like it made me a bit squeamish. Was when they were about to do the fake stabs and how Jill just stabs Charlie in the chest. It looked like it hurt. Because, dude, the way that she like jams it in and it kind of just pushes against, like it has some tension against like the blade digging into his chest and the way he grips it and everything, he sells the death scene very well. It was simple, but I think it was a brutal scene. He just gets stabbed straight in the heart. I don't know, just looking at it, I always pay attention to the blade on that one. And it reminds me of the first one because Skeet, Billy, actually got stabbed for real with the umbrella, which I don't know if you knew that at all, where she jumps out the closet. Yeah, he gets stabbed in the fucking chest and actually gets impaled during filming, and that's the real shot right there when it actually happens. Because the retractable
I didn't know that was
part,
like...
I guess, got stuck.
Ooh, damn! I didn't know that.
It was retractable, but yeah, she stabs him twice, I think. So after the first one, it like jams, and so when she goes in again and stabs him in the chest, like she actually like punctures his shit, and when he screams, that is actually him like yelping from that shit.
Damn, I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's gnarly. Another stabbing one that gets me is whenever we get to see Kirby. Of course, watching this back in 2011, I was like, man, that sucks. Kirby dies. She gets stabbed after trying to save Charlie, and he just straight up betrays her. But that's where I get that incel moment from, is because he's just like, yeah, after 4 years, now you notice me, and they just like stabs her. I'm like, bro, you had a shot. She seemed to be like pretty into you. It's like, the fuck? Is like, why would you just pass that up, man? It's fucking Hayden Panettiere. Like, the hell?
Better late than never.
Yeah, right? I mean, God, sometimes that's how it happens, bro. Now, I guess before we move on to 5, now, do you know the movie, the rules of this one established in this one?
Oh my god, man, there's so many rules.
There was actually a few.
From
what I see here, there's 7.
What? Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know the rules in this. I don't know what are the rules in this.
I'm not gonna blame you. Once it gets towards like 4 and the rest, I definitely didn't know any. Don't fuck with the original.
Oh, yep, I remember that.
The death scenes had to be way more extreme, which I think they were.
Yeah, I think they were, yeah.
Unexpected is the new cliche. Very true. Virgins can die now. Yep, that blows.
Womp
Just
womp.
die a virgin. New versions are always 2.0, so the latest technology is always involved and integral to the plot. This means the killer may start filming the murders, which actually happens.
Because they want to make their own movie, right?
It's like kind of sort of, they wanted people to see what they went through other than hearing about what they went through.
Yeah.
So it like really amps it up, the danger that these people and like the trauma that they went through is very much real, and make them bigger stars. You have to have an opening sequence, and if you want to survive in a modern day horror movie, you pretty much have to be gay.
Oh, okay.
And we already established favorite kill was Olivia. That was just a really good scene. Now This is where we're gonna start really getting into the interesting parts. Scream 5.
This is where the fun begins.
We'll see.
I
We'll
think
see.
this movie is very okay. I mean, that's the way I can really describe it.
I think this movie is very bad. I do not like this movie. It is definitely one of my least favorite Scream movies. We are talking about Scream 5 or Scream, just Scream 2022. Now, IMDb score.
All right. I think I remember the critic one, not the exact number, but I think I remember the range. IMDb, I'm gonna say 8.
8. It is 6.3.
Wow. Okay. Surprised that one's so low because I thought a lot of people like this one. I know the critic score is pretty high.
Yeah. Okay, so Rotten Tomatoes, critics.
I think the critic, isn't it like it sits somewhere around an 80? Isn't it like 82 or something?
It is 76.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm only 6 points off. Going based off all the other Rotten Tomato audience scores for all the other Scream movies, I'm gonna say this one's like a 60.
No. This one is an 81.
What? Oh my god. So swap my IMDb
81%.
swap my IMDb and Rotten Tomato audience score. That would be pretty good.
Me personally, I don't fucking see it, but it's there, man.
At least the critic score I can justify. It's like if someone gave this movie like a 6 out of 10, I'd be like, yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, like, I don't agree, but like, yeah, whatever. So I mean, and if in Rotten Tomato score, 6 out of 10 is a tomato. So I mean,
Yeah.
like, it depends on the review, honestly.
Yeah, I think this one's certified fresh. Yeah. I think it has to be over 60 to be certified fresh.
Oh, okay.
It is a certified fresh movie.
Congrats, Scream 5.
All right. I'll say this. I don't like the movie. No. There's not much I like about this movie, but I am glad it succeeded the way it did. I love the success that it has because we need horror movies to keep succeeding. Rated R horror movies. We need them to do very well so companies will keep doing them and we keep getting good stuff. As the horror community, we have to support it. So I may not like it, but I'm glad it made money and I am happy that people like it. You know, it may not be for me, but I'm glad people are enjoying themselves and going out to the movie theaters, supporting that, making these movies happen. That matters a lot. I'll give them that.
They did the thing.
They did the thing. They did exactly that. They did the thing. It's the first one not made by Wes Craven because he did pass away 7 years prior. This one's made by Radio Silence. This was a legacy sequel. So this was a commentary on those, just like 4 did the reboots. 5 was doing legacy sequels because of Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Candyman. They're all going by just the original names around this time. And it's kind of the era we're in. I'm not really digging it. I'm not going to lie. I did not like any of those requels. John, what about you? Did you care for this era of horror films?
I like Halloween 2018. Probably the best sequel out of that whole series because I believe it's terrible. That series is terrible sequels. I'm not a big fan of Candyman though, and I think Texas Chainsaw is a great drinking movie. I think it's one of those movies that if you did not take it seriously whatsoever, it would be enjoyable. Because I think that movie's fucking hilarious. I think it's so stupid that it's so funny. But it's not a good movie. But I think it's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we've definitely talked about this before. I believe I was harsh on Halloween 2018. I got to rewatch it. I know it looked great. The music phenomenal like always. They never miss.
The music slaps in that.
Yeah. Great intro as well with the pumpkins. Bro, sequel wise, the intros, like the opening credits, they kill it every time.
Oh,
every
yeah,
time
absolutely.
It's been great. I'll give them that. The music and how the movie looks, they do all those right. On technical aspects, they do a phenomenal job. So I always got to give them that. They know what they're doing. I just don't care for the story or anything that's happening. Yes, so honestly, none of these I liked. I liked all the reboots that came out. I did not like any of the requels. So that's honestly interesting. I see that. We get Jenna Ortega. She's big right now. I think she was hot off of X and all of that.
the way you said that.
What?
The way you emphasized that was just so funny. Jenna Ortega's in this. She's
Ortega?
big right now.
I don't know. It just came to my head, but very talented. I think she shines in this movie. I believe she should have been the lead, Sam. I don't think she should have been the sister because the girl that played Sam, with all due respect, and I'm no actor, so not like it matters. I'm no thespian, but man, she was very overshadowed in acting capabilities.
I kind of disagree. I agree with you that she gets overshined, but not by Jenna, just by like everyone. Because I feel like everyone, besides maybe a few other people that I kind of see
Yeah.
performance issues with, because Jenna's not really in the movie that much. She's only like in like 4 or 5 scenes.
I mean, I get what you mean, but but yeah, she's definitely like the weakest actress in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Jenna she had the star power, and she definitely has really good acting capabilities. I think she could have really played the Sam part very well. It's what they wanted, you know, it was their vision.
You could tell that they wanted to change like their mind though, just by the way they advertise Scream 6 and like are still advertising it. Because like if you just boot up Paramount Plus and type in Scream 6, it's just Jenna Ortega like holding up a knife.
Oh yeah, she's on there.
Yeah,
Like they know that they have somebody big.
yeah.
And I
So
bet they're kicking themselves.
I wouldn't be surprised if Seven's just like Jenna Ortega featuring Ghostface movie.
Probably because, dude, honestly, in 6, she had a way bigger part.
Oh yeah,
She was in there a lot more. Yeah, so we have another call. Every movie starts off with a phone call. Jenna Ortega gets the phone call. They were pushing her in the trailers. Now that
Yeah,
I
they
think about
were.
it, yeah. They were really selling this opening scene.
that first trailer was basically just this opening scene, and then like a minute and a half was like other stuff.
Yeah. She's the first one to survive opening kill or attack, I guess you would say. I would have to call it an attack.
Oh yeah, she is.
It was pretty brutal, you know, like the stomping
Yeah,
on
it
her
was.
ankle and stuff, so she couldn't run. Dude, that was gnarly, man. Yeah, she was great. Whenever they're talking about the movies, they're talking about the stab movies on the phone, saying how it's very 90s and how that's not really the horror that she's into. She's into elevated horror, which I think this was the first time I ever heard that term, and I'm like, damn, that perfectly summarizes what's been going on the last, I guess, maybe 10 years or less.
Yeah,
Like horror movies have really started to become very artsy, very technically well crafted, and a lot of undertones. It's not just straightforward slasher or demonic or anything. They definitely try to
Yeah.
have some depth, and I love that. I love what we're in. I love elevated horror. It's definitely great. But holy shit, can it get pretentious? I've already seen that happen with a couple movies. Jesus. Yeah, I think some people need to cut it back a little bit and get a bit too full of themselves.
when you were mentioning like her listing movies, it's kind of a nice segue into what I want to talk
Mhm.
about. I think the meta-ness, the best way I can describe that, in this movie
Yeah.
sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. And I think in the opening it doesn't work.
They're overdoing it.
Yeah, especially in 6. I'm gonna talk more about that. Sometimes it works. I think in the opening it doesn't work because it's just them like listing movies, and that's kind of what I don't like. I just don't like when people like are like, "Oh, I'm gonna be meta. I'm just gonna list a bunch of horror movies that like everyone has seen," and then like that's it. But I think it works in Wes's death scene because it does a lot of the same things that I liked about Henry Winkler's death scene in the first one, where it's like, "Oh, Ghostface is gonna be right here." Yeah, it's
fake
not.
outs.
Yeah, I just kind of like. I think it's like a nice way, like trying to make fun of itself. And you're not gonna like when I say this. I love
Okay.
the twist in this movie. I think the twist is so fucking funny. I love it. I think because it doesn't take itself seriously. The twist is just a pure shitting on Star Wars fans, and I could not appreciate it anymore because I think it's so funny.
I feel like you immediately thought of me when you watched this movie.
No,
You're
because
like, God damn, that would be Lamar.
I think
I have a feeling.
when I watch that, I think of people that like created a petition to remake the sequel trilogy. Those are the
I think
people
I
I think
signed
about.
it.
Oh my god.
I think I signed it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I might have signed one. Like, yeah, you never know. I would want to be a part of change and say I did my part.
It would never happen.
Of
But
course,
I think-
it's not going to.
I think it's so. This movie is basically just completely ripping on. Well, not even ripping on, but kind of ripping on the fans from The Last Jedi because I mean, like they talk about Stab.
100%
Yeah,
is.
they talk about Stab 8, and it was directed by Ryan Johnson. I think it's funny, and I think it's like if someone was like crazy enough, they would absolutely try to pull some shit like this, and like in like the Scream universe, not in real life, but like in the Scream universe, I think the twist makes sense. And I think it's so stupid, and the movie knows it's stupid. So I think that's when like the meta actually like works in this.
No, yeah, because it's 100% just Redditors.
Oh
That's
yeah,
all it is. And it's also reminiscent of two of
yeah,
how they Mrs. Loomis and Mickey met on a serial killer web browser or whatever the fuck. Like I don't remember exactly what they called it, but yeah, they were idolizing serial killers and they found each other and there you go. She took advantage of that. And so it's kind of like the same thing happening here, which very questionable when you think about it because how old is it Richie? Yeah, Richie's his name.
yeah. I'm probably like late 20s if I take a guess,
Yeah,
because he's around
and
Sam's age.
yeah, and Amber is still in high school, so it's like what's going on here? It's
Well,
like
they
one of those things.
they're not fucking. They're just killing people. So like,
Well, I mean, he called her babe, and they like made out.
oh yeah, that's. Oh yeah, they did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they did. I immediately like when this whole thing happened, I was like, the fuck? Wait a minute. How old is he and how old is that girl right there? It's like, hold on. There's another aspect to this nobody's really talking about, but I don't know. But I
also,
guess you could say that's meta too, because that's like
I
severely common nowadays as well.
I like when they talk about, or when he's watching like Dead Meat or something like that, their YouTube channel, and then they're talking about the next like Stab
Yes.
9 movie, and it's just gonna be called Stab. And I like how this movie is just called Scream. At first I thought it was stupid, and then I kind of watched the
Yep.
movie. I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny for that like one scene. So I think the meta works in this when they're not just like listing off movies. So good job for them, I guess.
Yeah, it's more when they play like close to our universe where it works versus trying to be, oh, hey, I know something. And it's like, okay,
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly.
But granted, I do love all the movies that she listed in the beginning, Jenna Ortega, like, The Witch, The Babadook,
Hereditary.
Hereditary. I was like, man, I love all of these films. Like, you're on a roll right now.
Yeah. My kind of
I'm
issue
trying to
with
look
that
at
too
my.
is like when they list off movies, they're not like they're talking about movies that people would relatively know pretty well.
They talk about the popular ones.
Yeah, and when you watch Scream 1, when Randy mentions like a horror movie, yeah, there might be like a popular one thrown in there. But like not everyone knows Prom Night or The Howling. I mean, I think Black
Yeah.
Christmas is probably the most popular one on there, but some people probably don't even know what Black Christmas is. And I think Scream 1, when it lists movies, it falls in that perfect line between some people know them, but it's not like popular. But when this movie lists movies, it's like the most popular things. I would say the one that's probably the least popular is probably the Babadook. I think if you said that to someone might be like, "What the fuck is that?" But I think if you listed Hereditary and what was the other one?
Hereditary, The Witch, I think was one of them.
Yeah, I felt like if you listed those to someone would be like, "Yeah, I've heard of that," especially Hereditary.
Yeah, Hereditary is like massive, rightfully so. But yeah, it did seem like they picked the safer options. But I kind of understand those are massive horror movies with pretty big followings now. So
Yeah,
it's like I get it because what other ones would you really pick? I mean, they could have chosen ones from the earlier 2000s, like that dingy green era of horror movies in the early 2000s or like dingy blue. It was something like that. I don't know what you would really call that era, but like
I
The
know what you're talking about.
Ring, The Grudge,
Yeah,
those types of movies. Saw, they all had that green look. Hostel, it's like you had
yeah,
all those that had that look to them, and
yeah,
it's like I could see them probably naming stuff like that, but I don't know. But then again, it's like no, this movie came out in 2022, so it's like okay, those movies, a lot of those
are
movies are like
old.
15 plus years old, so it's like they
Yeah,
could have counted just like in the first one, talking about all those movies when
they're
they're only
'70s
like
movies.
about the
Yeah,
same range. Yeah. So it's like I feel like it was possible, but I think they definitely chose the safer route.
yeah, definitely. Also, I remember she mentions It Follows. That was the other movie she mentions.
Yeah. I like that one.
I've never seen it actually.
I get where people don't like it, but I kind of dig it.
They should have mentioned Don't Breathe, the movie where they shove a cum canister in a turkey baster or something like that in the dude's mouth.
Dude, that shit was so fucking out of pocket. Jesus Christ. That whole thing just did not need to happen. But I was cheering when it happened, though. I'm not gonna lie. But damn, did it not need to happen? They really went there. But the problem was the guy that plays Wes. He was in that one though. I don't know if they could talk about it.
Oh yeah, he is. Oh,
He's
fuck,
in
man.
there.
Oh well. They should have just pulled a Carrie Fisher. Like, are you that? No, I just look like him.
That would have been his 13th reason. All right, so I'm going to some casting a bit. Man, another one, they did well with casting. I'll give them that. Jack Quaid, love him in The Boys and stuff, so seeing him in there was cool. The twins, the people who played the twins, God, I love them. They're great characters. I like them a lot.
In this one, they're good. I really like Mindy in this one. She's so late. She's not like trying to be Randy, but like is Randy. She's not like super energetic, kind of like Randy is, and like Randy's kind of like schizo, like kind of like
She's like stoner Randy.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like I can tell like they're related, but it's not like the same character, which I like. And I like how
Yeah.
when she's at the party, she's
Yeah.
like, I just want to fuck this girl over here. And I'm like, that's fucking like that's like sick. Like I don't know, I just thought it was funny. She's just like this like she's like a different person, but like serves the same purpose as Randy.
Yeah, and she does. I love her meta moment. I think it's so
Oh, yeah,
funny. I'll give it that. Where she's watching like her uncle
Yeah.
on the camera, like on the movie, and then she's like doing the same thing. And she's like, wait a minute. I love her face. She's like, wait. Turns around. Oh fuck! It's like it's Ghostface.
like
God,
that
dude,
too.
that's so good.
Also, why does the Ghostface costume look so fucking good in this? Why does it like look like so crispy?
I don't know what they did, but fuck, they did make the outfits look so good in 5 and 6. I cannot tell you what the hell is different, but damn, it does look good. It's so photogenic. It looks great on camera. I don't know.
Yeah, I love the way it looks in this movie.
I don't know how to describe it. It's perfect. I love it so much. Oh, dude, another one. So going off the bat, I don't like the storyline. That was one thing. We didn't even get into the synopsis of it, but in this one, Scream 5, so we moved on from Sydney, kinda, sorta. So now we're focused on this family. They get attacked because of their lineage to Billy, and I kind of hate how they force this in there too. It was really just kind of regurgitated in the hospital scene, where we find out that Sam, the lead, is the illegitimate daughter of Billy back in high school. So I'm guessing he like cheated on Sydney sometime, maybe because he couldn't get laid by Sydney and ended up having a kid with somebody. And she found out by some diaries of her mom's and outed the whole thing. You know, she put her dirty laundry out and it broke up the family. Sam became like a degenerate, ran away from home the moment she could, leaving behind her sister with a broken family as well. So a bit of resentment. Thing is, it's like I kind of hate, you don't even really get that that feel that they really hate each other. Like you don't really get an idea of their relationship.
Yeah.
And then the first moment you do, they're immediately throwing all these things at you, like, oh hey, we have a broken family. Hey, I abandoned you, and also, hey, I'm like your half sister, and my dad was like a killer that everyone knows about. It was just a lot to throw out at one time. And in that hospital scene is, I think, the key moment where I see Jenna Ortega outshining the lady that plays Sam. I'm not familiar with her name, so I'm sorry about that.
I think her name's like Melissa something.
I think you're right. I'm not 100% sure. It's just, I don't know what they're doing with Sam. And that's going to be another thing we talk about in 6. I have no idea where they're going, what the message is with her, but they do the same thing in this one that they did in 3. The visions, they brought back Skeet, which, cool, but I think they could have done a way better job of bringing him back for something completely different.
Yeah.
But I did not like the whole visions thing, and it doesn't make sense to me. You know, and this is going to be one of the things we may not agree on, but it makes no sense. She's never met her dad. Her dad died before she was born.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would imagine so, or right when she's born.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, either way, she never meets her dad. So it's so weird. She sees Billy in the outfit that he was in when he died, like same exact thing, and he's encouraging her to kill, and like, oh, you're a killer from birth, and all this other stuff. It's like, what the fuck? That is not Hereditary. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I can't buy into any of it.
I agree with you.
And like I said earlier in the last episode, like motive matters a lot. I don't get what's going on here. And it's not even her motive. That's just a whole like subplot that just doesn't make sense. Amber and Richie, what was their motive again? I completely forgot. It was
They wanted to.
I deeply disliked everything. I can't remember.
They wanted like remake the original. They're like sick of like how the Stab franchise is going, so they want to give like the movie studios new source material. So that's why like they're doing this.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So this is the one where they try to like really replicate everything,
Yeah.
and yeah, okay, yeah. See, I completely fucking forgot because everything kind of just like the problems in this movie really overshadow everything for me, and it's kind of like it's just like super fuzzy in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the hospital scene, that happens, and they get attacked in the hospital too. Dude, there's nobody working in this fucking hospital.
Yeah,
Like, holy
there's one
shit.
fucking guard there. I don't know what the fucking excuse is. Shit's closed. I don't know what the fuck. Like,
No, they don't have one. It's in the middle of shutting down. Like, something is wrong. And it's funny because seeing Halloween, which one? Halloween Ends? Is that the one with the
No,
fucking
Halloween
Evil
Kills.
Dice Tonight?
No, Halloween Kills.
Halloween
With
Kills.
like the hospital that's like overloaded with people.
Yes. It is the most crowded fucking hospital I've ever seen in a movie. And then you go to this, and you can't find a single fucking patient or another doctor. Don't even see a doctor. You just see like somebody walk by, I think once,
Yeah.
and you never see them again. And there's one receptionist, and the lights are super dim. Like, I'm not buying this is real. This looks like a dream state in Nightmare on Elm Street or something, because there's nobody.
If you were to go to a hospital, would you choose Haddonfield or Woodsboro?
I don't know. One is probably, well, Haddonfield. Even though it's overcrowded and they murder an innocent man, I would at least get help. They helped Lori and the cop.
Yeah.
They were bedridden like the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
So they were kind of taken care of. I would still get assistance there. So yeah, I would rather do that.
I'm taking my healthcare to Haddonfield.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it'll take a minute, but at least I'll be there. What do you call it? Dewey dies in the hospital. He finally gets ganked.
In the worst way possible.
Yeah, it was so dumb, dude. It was dumb. I don't like it. I mean, granted, it's nice that he died, I guess. Like, they'll have the OGs die. It's like, at some point, you gotta not get rid of them, like, in that way. But it's like I said earlier, nobody can live forever. So it's like, yeah, give me some stakes. It's just, I think they waited way too long to do that. Dewey's goated, man. And seeing how old David Arquette is, dude, it's so weird. Time is moving so fast. I remember watching him in wrestling. He was a wrestler and a champion in WCW back in, like, I think, like, the 90s, early 2000s. Like, what a weird time. I've been meaning to show Karen that stuff. It's wild. He was wrestling for a while.
I had no idea he was a wrestler.
Yeah, dude. Wrestling ruled the world in the fucking, like, 90s, like 80s and 90s.
Should have body slammed Ghostface.
I feel like he could have.
Probably.
But I knew he was going to die the moment he didn't step on the elevator.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool kill, but I just didn't like what led to that. That I didn't care for.
He also gets distracted by a phone ringing, and then that's when he gets stabbed, which I think is fucking stupid.
I guess they just had to do it sometime, and yeah, I didn't like it.
Speaking of legacy characters, I want to mention how this movie has no idea how to handle legacy characters, I feel like. And I think this is also an issue that carries on to 6. They just don't know, like, what to do with them. Like, Sydney does absolutely nothing in this movie. You could cut her out of this movie.
She has no
and
reason.
Be exactly the same. Yeah, no, zero reason to be
Wasted.
there. And Gail Weathers, I mean, like...
She reverts back.
Yeah, it's not as bad as, like, Scream 1 Gail, but, like, she absolutely, like, reverts back. And the whole divorce thing that happens, like, off screen, I mean, like, it's whatever. But they literally have one scene together, Dewey and Gail, before he dies. So they have a scene together, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, I still like you, And then he dies. And it's like, all right, well, that relationship was kind of, like, useless.
And that's also kind of sad. And I've seen like a little bit of behind the scenes, like clips here and there. It turns out them filming that scene where they finally get to meet and they're like crying and stuff. It's I mean, of course, they were married from 2 on, right? like in real
Yeah.
life. Courtney Cox, David Arquette.
Oh, they were. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, because they met on the Scream movie. I think they got married after the first one. During the second one, they were married, and they were together for a while. It wasn't until 2011 when they were doing the fourth one, they were in the middle of a divorce.
Oh.
And supposedly there was like some tensions here and there, but they were professional a lot of the times. And it wasn't until right after the movie came out that they got a divorce all the way. I think it came out, I think 2012 they got a divorce. And so
Okay.
them working together on this one and having that scene where they are talking about a divorce and like how they, I guess, kind of still miss each other, but they just weren't kind of meant to be because they were meant to be in different places. Supposedly the very first scene, it was like way too emotional and super like crying, like teary, that they couldn't use it because I guess a lot of their real feelings were coming out. So they had to shoot it a few times and then use like later ones after, I guess, a lot of therapeutic emotion kind of got out. And that kind of makes me sad. It's like, damn, that's sad. But yeah, so it was definitely real there, but no, they definitely needed more time. Dewey, I feel like they used a little bit. I feel like they used him properly.
I think he's definitely the better one.
Yeah. He's done really well. Gail, they just regress her character and then they do it even more in the next one. So it's like,
Oh boy, do that.
yeah, so it's like, oh dude, like I didn't even like this character, but at least last place we left her, she was good. Now it's like, God, we're going back to this. And this is gonna be one thing. I definitely feel like Nev is getting the shit end because they didn't do much with her character in this one. She was not really needed. And then, of course, they don't bring her back for 6, I think because of, like, money disputes.
Yeah, which I'm honestly kind of fine with.
Not like it needed to happen, but, like, once again, she didn't really need to be in the movie. I think she had a really good send-off in 4. She didn't really have to be brought back. And especially if they're trying to pass the torch, I don't think they needed to. But it's like, okay, you can't even pay, like, your not leading lady, but the star of the whole movie who really people come to see along with Ghostface is Sydney. You can't even pay them properly to come back or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that blows. One of my final notes, I really like that they did this whenever they were trying to honor Wes, like the character Wes, the 13 Reasons Why and Don't Breathe kid.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets killed, you know, they have a party in his honor at Stu's house and everyone says to Wes, there's actually vocal cameos, and obviously everyone knows that's a meta moment to honor Wes Craven since he passed away, and this is the first movie without him. I have a list written down of people that were actually vocal cameos: Drew Barrymore, Henry Winkler, Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, Hayden Panettiere, and Adam Brody. So they all lended their voices for like EDR for that toast scene where they said like to Wes, and I thought that was really cool.
That's awesome.
That some of these people really came back. Yeah, that's really nice. I thought that was really touching. And
but before we get to Scream 6, what's your favorite kill in Scream 5?
favorite kill? Fuck, did I write one?
We're hitting 1 o'clock in the morning, so
yeah, we are. All right, what's yours? I'm gonna have to try to.
Mine is Amber when she gets like
when she gets set on fire
Vaseline
again.
on her. Yeah, she gets set on fire. Yeah, I'm like, all right, that's fucking sick. There's also the nice little moment where Gail and Sydney pull up to the house, and then Amber's like pretending to be hurt, and then they look at each other and like, yeah, I know this shit's fake. I don't know. I think I was kind of funny. It's like, yeah, they've been through this before.
Actually, I would have to say Amber too, mainly because this chick dies the same, like near the same way in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She gets set on fire.
Oh my god,
again. Yeah. And yeah. So no, there's that. I thought that was really cool. So I would probably say that just for that reason alone. Oh yeah. I do have this one thing to say about Chad. I don't want to skip over this note. Chad is a complete Chad. He does not have drunk sex with what's her name? Lex?
Liz, I think.
Liz. Yeah. The fact that she was kind of drunk, trying to sleep with him, and he's like, nah, but we wait. I admire that, man. Consent all the way.
Chad is the next fucking Dewey because he gets stabbed a bajillion times in this and then in the next movie.
He
Uh,
does, dude. Fuck. He really does.
Bro's like fucking Luke Cage. I don't know how the fuck he's surviving all this shit, but there's no way he
Yeah.
can survive, especially in Scream 6. Let's just start talking about Scream 6. Are you done with Scream 5 or?
Yeah, we can move on to Scream 5.
All
Or
right,
Scream
fuck
6.
this movie.
Okay. All right,
I hate
yeah.
this movie.
So, right off the bat, we have difference of opinions. I really enjoyed Scream 6, despite not liking Scream 5 or Sam. I think this one's pretty good. I rewatched it like 3 times. I think I watched it twice in theaters, and yeah. So I'll let you
I
take the
hate this
lead
movie.
on on this
All right.
one.
I'm gonna set the stage because I was having a fantastic day when I watched this. I was in spring break. I was in Puerto Rico with all my friends, and I was like, me and another person there are really big Scream fans. And we're like, all right, we're gonna go see this movie. We're excited. We saw all the reviews were getting really good. I saw you gave it a good review, so I'm like, all right, this shit's about to be bussin'. And it starts, and I really like the opening scene. I think the opening scene is probably honestly like one of my favorites out of the whole series.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really
Yes.
good. It plays well with the setting, which is something the rest of this movie does not do. And then
Yep.
they go to the apartment, and then uh the ghost face says like fuck the movies, or like who cares about the movies. And I was so excited because I was like, finally we're dropping like the meta. We're just gonna have a straight like slasher movie, and it's gonna be fun. It's in New York. They're doing a good job so far. And then they just someone reached out of the screen and then fucking killed me because all my expectations were shattered after the last like 2 hours of this movie.
God.
Everything where I've said about Scream movies where I just don't like it when they list stuff, this is all this movie does. It just lists movies. That's it. And part of the reason why, at first I was really mad because I was like, all right, like what the fuck is this? Like they're trying to be meta, but they're just like listing movies, it's not doing anything. But then I really started thinking about it when I was taking my notes. What's there to be meta off of? Because I mean, the first like 3 Scream movies were able to go off a back catalog of like 20 to 30 years of slasher movies. So they had like the material to be meta. Scream 4, it didn't have as much, but it had like some reboots at least to work with. And there was also other movies that were being rebooted at the time, so they at least had that. And then Scream 5 does the requels. There's not many of them. I mean, there was Star Wars, there's Halloween, there's Candyman, stuff like that, but I mean, not a ton to go off. How many movies have like requel sequels? Because it's not many. I think the only ones I really can think of is Star Wars and Halloween. So it's hard to be meta when like you only have like 2 movies to base it off of. So what's there to do besides just list fucking movies and just attempt to be meta? And this movie tries so fucking hard. I think that's like my biggest issue with it. And I was kind of pleasantly surprised by Mindy's character in 5 because I remember her in this and I fucking hate her in this. She's so annoying. What I liked about her in 5 was that she serves the same purpose as Randy, but like isn't Randy, she's like her own person. In this movie, she is Randy. Like she,
Full on Randy.
yeah, she just
I
tries.
think worse.
Yeah, way worse. Because it's just like listing movies when fucking her and Kirby were having a conversation about horror movies. Fucking gag me with a spoon. That shit was cringe as fuck. I wanted to die. And it served no purpose. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, we know movies. And then like, I don't even know. They listed off like the most like basic fucking movies. Oh yeah, and like when they do talk about like tropes and stuff like that, the movie just kind of like plays into the tropes and doesn't really make fun of itself. At least like in Scream 5, like when it like I'm gonna kind of go back to Wes's like death scene, or even like the twist. I think like the movie knows what it's doing, so it kind of like makes fun of itself. This movie just kind of like it brings up the meta stuff and then just kind of like just lets it sit there and it falls into the same tropes. I don't know. I got fucking annoyed by it. What do you have to say before I keep going?
Good. All right.
Wait, should we do the audience score?
Yeah, so we'll go with that. Now we just had him completely shit on this movie. IMDb. Yes.
I know people like this movie, so I'm gonna give this one a 7.
6.6.
Okay, that's pretty close. It's in the 5% percentile.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll give you that. All right. Rotten Tomatoes, critics.
85.
76.
Oh wow. Okay. I thought like it was pretty high. Is the audience 185?
Audience is 91.
Okay, I was close with that one.
Honestly, I thought you were gonna be mad by that.
Oh no,
Okay.
I'm irritated. I don't know how the fuck people like this movie so much, but I mean that's kind of unexpected. People like this movie, and I feel like I've like booted up a different movie of Scream 6 because I don't know what the fuck people are watching, but I must be watching a different fucking movie. I must be watching like the fucking director's cut or some shit like that, or like the fucking like the PA's cut because like I don't know why people like this movie so much.
Yeah, it's just I think this one's a lot more bearable. But all right, now that John had his moment, here's mine. So I don't have as many notes as him. I'm kind of just mainly going off memory here. Everybody moved to New York. Tara, Jenna Ortega's character, and the other friends, they're going to college in New York, so they move over there. Sam, overprotective sister now, she follows them, and she just wants to look out for her, but it's this whole tension of, you're not my mom, you don't need to be overbearing and stuff. Like, I have my own life I want to live. I don't want to let the past define me and stuff like that, which I would assume is the message of the movie, but they do not really stay to that, especially with Sam and her whole delusional shit that she's fighting the urge to kill and all this other stuff. I do not like Sam. Anything with Sam, I just don't like. I don't like her character. I ignore it because I like everyone else in the movie and this movie. I'm really trying to cut off my brain a little bit here and there. I'm trying to perform a lobotomy while watching it. Spoilers. The reason they're being targeted is because it's the family of Richie. They want to avenge their brother and complete his vision, his film. So his brother and sister and his dad, who is a cop, which I called. He was the only ghost face. I corrected. I thought it would be one ghost face. I count that as a major dub. And turns out to be 3, which is really cool. I thought was kind of cool, a little more people. I was kind of thinking we'd go on the cult side of things, but guess I was wrong. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. The kills in this movie, pretty good. Practical effects done really well. They do not utilize New York, like my friend was saying. Not too much. They definitely could have done more. There was some missed opportunities here and there. Opening scene. Gotta talk about that. I think that is probably the best thing in this fucking movie, because I was talking about this with my girlfriend before this movie came out, saying it would be so cool if we had a movie where we just follow the killer. We're always on a whodunit type of thing. What if we just know who it is and somebody is out killing somebody and we already know who the real killer is, but somebody else is doing it? So it's like there's 2 killers. So you still have that whodunit thing. I thought that's where we were going to go. I thought it was going to be sick. I completely forgot they had the guy from the Spider-Man Marvel movies. I forgot Flash was in this. And when I saw he was the killer right off the bat, killing the chick from Ready or Not in the alleyway and just takes off his mask, my jaw dropped. I was losing my mind. I was like, oh shit, we're going to follow the killer in the movie. This is going to be awesome. Holy fuck. And we got to see that they're kind of friends with Tara whenever they pass by talking about the party and stuff. Fuck, dude. I don't want to say it beats out the first one, but man, I loved that so much. I think because of how fresh it is, that's why I loved it so much, and how different it is than every single one. I really dig that. That was great.
I think the opening scene probably could have been better than the first one if it was in a better movie.
I could see you having that, yeah. But I like to separate the opening scenes because sometimes they're not they're connected, but they're not like, you know what I mean? They're not like super
They're more like a cold open
or whatever. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. So it's like, I dig that a lot. Favorite kills. Dude, my favorite kills were not kills. Sadly, that is something super disappointing to me.
No one fucking dies.
The twins had incredible tension, and I really wish they died. I love those characters, but man, they should have died. The whole train scene with Mindy, great. So much tension there. It was done very well. Fuck, man, she should have died. The other twin, Chad, after him and Tara start lip locking a little bit. And then 2 Ghostface. come out and start shanking this dude, and they do the simultaneous like wipe. Holy fuck, dude, that
Bro,
tickled my
ain't no way that
brain.
guy's alive.
No, he shouldn't have
There's
been.
no way that guy survived that.
No, 100%. He shouldn't have. But man, that was really good, and the double wiping was so great. I love that so much. So really, really great Ghostface action in this movie. I would say probably some of the best Ghostface action happening around out of the sequels. And Sam, her acting got better. The chick that played her, it was definitely an improvement in this one. The kills were done really well. Story wise, I'd say it's pretty okay. I just think everything with Sam is very lackluster, and I still don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they're trying to depict mental health or anything. It's super weird because they're definitely saying that she has something wrong with her and she's resisting these urges, but then gives in to them at the end. She has the moment to spare the cop, and she doesn't. She just kind of listens to Tara. Tara kind of like is confused that she's sparing him when it's like you completely shredded up this dude's arms with the knife, which was kind of cool, shanked his shit, but it wasn't necessary. And she just straight up executes this man, which honestly, in real life, she would go to jail because you just executed that guy. At that point, your life was not threatened whatsoever. So she gives in to being a killer and is listening to her dad by wearing the wardrobe after they enter the shrine and stuff. And she's stalking the cop now, the dad.
I don't really get that.
If they want,
I never really understood why she had to put on the costume or anything.
it's weird. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. And the thing is, she said no whenever they wanted her to put on the costume, and they're like, oh, it's your birthright. You know, put it on. And it's like, dude, it's not that fucking deep. She is an illegitimate child.
And then she puts it on
pretty
anyways.
sure Billy didn't know. Yeah, and then she puts it on anyway. So it really makes no fucking sense whatsoever. So, like I said, anything with Sam, I don't like. I completely try to take it out of my brain when I watch this movie. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I was alluding to. If they wanted to bring back Skeet, this would have been the perfect way to do it. They could have did what they did in 3 with the dream sequence. How they're in the shrine room. She's sitting in the chair, probably falling asleep because she's looking at everything while they're waiting for Ghostface to arrive. And if she nods off, then we could have a moment where it's like a close-up of her asleep and then maybe behind her head, and it's out of focus in the background. And you see the main Ghostface, the number one that's in the center, like you see that outfit walking out of the case, the frame, and just walking to her, building up a lot of tension. And then you could see like the face reveal, and you'll see Skeet, a de-aged Skeet. It's a dream. Because obviously she's seen his pictures and stuff. She knows what he looks like. But so that would answer that question. But my whole thing of where she knows what he looks like exactly and what he sounds like and all that wouldn't really make any sense with her whole visions thing. It doesn't make sense. But that would have been a cool moment, and it would have been mind-blowing to let that be the only time we saw Skeet. Not in 5, but only in 6. And that would have been the first time we've ever seen him in the Ghostface outfit. That would have been remarkable. That would have been a great fucking scene for all the fanboys and fangirls. But no, they really want to keep playing on he's motivating her to kill and all this other stuff. He's a bloodthirsty ghost, and it doesn't make a lick of sense. But a movie's gonna movie, so it has its problems. I get it, but I enjoyed it. I think it looks great. All the kills are cool. The new characters, honestly, looking back at it, it is very predictable. They call Ethan like crazy way back in the beginning, and now if you rewatch it, it's painfully obvious. It's the same thing with the boyfriend in 4. There is nothing to this guy.
Yeah.
He's only Chad's roommate, and they seem to be cool friends. That's it. His sister, the redhead, I can't remember her name. I mean, she was okay. She seemed kind of cool. Like, I don't know. Like, she was sex positive. That's a plus, you know. No more shaming people for having sex in horror movies. People can do what they want. You know, that's about as far as we go with her. That's literally it. Sadly, that's kind of like the only really defining thing is that she's just hooking up with this one dude. And then she gets, air quotes, killed off and then revealed at the end to be the killer. But I think they made it too easy by having the core four, knowing, okay, it would have made zero sense if any of these people turned, especially Sam, even though they've been face fucking you the whole time. We're like, hey, she wants to be a killer. She wants to kill. She has a killer dad. Like, remember that. Like, no, it would have been even more disappointing if they did any of that, because it's like, dude, all of this makes no sense and is so fucking lame. So all the new characters they bring in were pretty much no good.
This movie, like, really, like, fucking rank reset
Yeah.
Gale. Fucking, she is, like, back to, like,
prestiged.
square one. She, like, doesn't recognize Dewey at all. Yeah, Prestige Master fucking rank reset, like, fucking diamond camo. She, like, went back to complete zero. Like, zero development.
Which she lived way too fucking long. She should have not survived.
Part of the problem I have with this movie is no one fucking dies. One fucking person dies, and they have 2 scenes in the movie before they die. And I'm not counting the redhead chick because she was technically alive and she was Ghostface. I'm not counting any of the Ghostface's death either because they always die.
Makes sense.
And I know you mentioned that you like the 3 killers. I don't like the 3 killers because I think it just makes it lazy at that point. I think it's just kind of like, because I like always like.
You think it makes it too easy?
Yeah, I think it just makes it kind of easy because one thing I do like when there's only 2 killers is that it's like, oh, it's either one or the other. Who was here at this time and who was here at that time? But when there's 3
Doesn't
killers,
matter.
it's like, well, the redhead chick could be doing everything because we think she's fucking dead. So it's like she's not in any of the scenes. At least if she was like in the group, it could be like, oh, okay, well maybe at this time she was there. So like, okay, let's go to apartment scene for example in the very beginning. It can't be the redhead chick because she faked us. So it's either Ethan or the dad. Who is it? Well, we never fucking know because every Ghostface acts the same and they're all like the same build and shit in this movie. And then what about the subway? Well, it's not Ethan because he's on the train. So it could be the dad or it could be the redhead. But we don't know
I
because
think
they all
that
look the
one,
same.
I
See,
think if
it's
you think
kinda
about
like-
it a little more, you can kind of tell some, not all. That one, definitely the redhead,
yeah.
because I think she claims
that one's definitely the redhead.
Yeah, because she claims that she likes how she stabbed Mindy. So she takes credit for that.
Yeah, and the dad was at the police station.
So the dad is the cop. He's the one with gun training. So it makes sense. He was the one in the convenience store, which, used the
At the
shotgun,
convenience
which,
store.
great scene. I think they should have put it in a trailer because I was
Definitely
expecting more. I mean, I still like the movie, but it's like, man, you really put a really good scene in your trailer. It's like, damn, that kind of sucks, man.
That's like one of the rare scenes that takes advantage of New York. Do you want me to just tell you my favorite kill now? Because it kind of has to do with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when Tara and Sam walk in, like, oh, help, and then like Ghostface walks in, and there's just some fucking dude standing there, and he's like, you know, there's a line, buddy, and then he gets stabbed like 20 fucking times. That shit was so fucking funny.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I like that so much because it's such a like a New Yorker thing to say, like, oh yeah, there's a fucking line, asshole, and then he just gets stabbed like fucking 20 times. I'm like, that shit's funny.
But I don't like, and this plays into the thing, and I'm not gonna completely take credit for this, guys. I was rose-tinted glasses. I really did enjoy the movie. And it wasn't until John pointing it out, like, hey, they didn't really do shit with New York besides that one scene, which is correct. They didn't really do a whole lot. And I hate they really tried to sell that this movie is in New York. They put out amazing posters. Really, really well done posters. Well, at least one of them was incredible.
Yeah, the IMAX one was really good.
So they're selling that it's in New York. And you get the scene right there in the trailer. And I think it was a bit of an extended scene as well that they put in the trailer. We're showing off just a little bit extra, more than normal, like a teaser or a clip. And you get to see that and you're like, oh shit, this is something that would happen in New York. People aren't going to let shit slide. And then this motherfucker just gets got right in front of everyone. So it really makes you think, oh damn, all this is going to happen in public. It doesn't matter if it's daytime, nighttime, shit's going down in the city, like concrete jungle all the way. And that's like the main scene where anything really happens. I mean, you got the alleyway scene in the beginning, you know, at the opening, kinda, but even then,
which kind of does it. Yeah,
not
I mean,
a whole
like,
lot, but
I think it does.
It's a little.
For an opening scene, I think it does good enough. I think for like
does.
an opening scene, it's like, yeah, all right, like this is kind of like slowly we're gonna, like, you know, like cities have like alleys and shit. I mean, like,
Yeah, so
and I think my main issue is you could put it in any city and it would work. There's not really like, besides that one convenience store scene, there's nothing really like, oh yeah, this is like fucking New York City, baby. It's like, oh yeah, this could be Boston or Chicago or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, nothing screams, this is New York. Nothing is out there saying that. And it's kind of disappointing. And now that I've been to New York and got to see it a little bit, I'm like, man, there is so much here. Holy shit. They really did not use New York. So it kind of makes it, it brings it down a little bit more for me because it's like, damn, that's sad. There's so much. You know, anybody can watch a movie and somebody say, oh, this is New York. You're going to believe it. But being there, seeing it, and then seeing it in a movie, it's like, damn, you guys were trying to really hone it in that you're in New York and you didn't really do much with it. That's really sad. You know, like, I'm not expecting like fucking Spider-Man levels of shit, but like, you know, give me something that you're really using New York. The train scene, I'll give it that. That was really good. So like the train scene, the opening, and just the convenience store, but that's, you know, very small pieces, you know. I feel like it should have been more to it.
Even then, other cities have trains, so it's like
Still not enough.
yeah, it's a New York subway. But I mean, it could be like it could be the Boston T or the Chicago line, which I don't know what that's called. Even fucking Miami has their own train. It's not a subway, but I mean, like, you could put it anywhere and it could still work. So that's why I don't even include like the subway's train scene, because it's like it's a fucking train.
Yeah. So it's something. It has its faults, but I still really enjoy it. I think it's mainly because I do like a lot of the Ghostface action we get. I watched the Scream movies for some quality movies, some of them, but mainly for Ghostface. I fucking love Ghostface. I love how real Ghostface is. It can be anybody, anytime, anywhere. That is some gnarly shit. I think that's probably one of the scariest scenarios in any of the horror movies, because this is something that can happen. And how fucked up the world is nowadays, that shit very much could happen anytime, anywhere. So it's pretty wild, you know. This movie's pretty alright. I can understand why John doesn't like it, but I enjoy it. Ghostface. I'm here for Ghostface. That's what I wanted. I love Ghostface. I got to meet the Screamcast. I got posters around me. I have a 25th anniversary mask signed by Nev Campbell and Matthew Lillard. So I love the franchise. I'm going to watch every single one that comes out, whether I may or may not like it, but I'll definitely skip some movies if I'm not into it. I feel like my main ones, I feel like I can watch 6 here and there, but my main ones are 1 and 4 that I would rewatch if I'm feeling like watching the Scream movies. But 1 all the way. It has the most rewatch value out of all of them. I think it's timeless, despite being set in the 90s.
What's your favorite kill in 6?
I kind of want to say like the store clerk.
Yeah.
Like how he just gets shotgunned. Yeah, it's like.
Oh yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the guy that gets shotgunned, or are you talking about the guy that just gets fucking shanked?
Oh, I was talking about the guy who gets shanked.
Okay, I mean, his isn't too bad, but I fucking love how Ghostface just gets the shotgun and just blows the dude away, like, no problem, no hesitation.
Just like, yeah.
It's such a beast scene. Since you just watched this one, do you know the rules in this one?
I don't care.
You
I'm gonna give my Harrison Ford response.
Okay. All right, guys. So these are the rules for Scream 6. Everything is bigger than last time.
Sorry.
Oh my god, you bitch. Everything is bigger than last time. Bigger budget, bigger cast, bigger body count, with more beheadings, shootouts, and longer chases. Number 2, everything that has happened last time, expect the opposite. 3, no one is safe. Legacy characters become disposable. 4, main characters become expendable so the franchise can live on. So that's all the rules, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
And it barely follows any of those rules. Congratulations, Scream 6.
Yeah, it does not follow any of these rules. Holy shit, you are right.
Yeah, it doesn't follow any of them.
I was reading 2, and I'm like,
I think maybe besides 1.
I mean, did it have a bigger budget? It might be. Bigger cast. Did it have a bigger cast? I don't know if this one had a bigger cast.
Probably had the same amount of cast. Also, speaking of cast, let's talk about how fucking shit that main poster is. Not the IMAX one, and not the one of him in the subway. The one with all the fucking characters on it with the white background.
Oh, you mean the Marvel one? The floating heads?
Yeah, what a
superhero
what
poster?
a dog shit ass poster.
Yeah.
I at least like looking at that poster because I got it for free, and I was like kind of looking at it after I saw the movie, and I'm like, some of these characters only have like one scene. Like the fucking Ready or Not chick is on the poster, and she takes up like a big spot in that poster for like such a small role. And I was looking at her, and I'm like, who the hell is she? Like, who does she play? It took me maybe a good solid 20 minutes to realize that she's a chick in the opening scenes that dies immediately. Which I'm not sure if it's supposed to recall back to like Drew Barrymore being on the main poster.
I was about to
But,
say,
like-
I'm like, that's I feel like not a very valid criticism because of Drew Barrymore being plastered on
But-
it. But that was because it was a fake out. But I know a lot of people were excited she was casted.
I can't excuse this one because everyone else is on the poster too. It would be like if they made a Scream poster with like Henry Winkler on it. And it's like, why the fuck is Henry Winkler on this poster? That's kind of like what I mean. It's like, why is every single character in this movie on this fucking poster?
Yeah. Like, no, I get what you mean. So, like, you're right. It's definitely weird. But the one poster where it's like a giant ghost face over New York, I love that one.
I love that one.
I have that
Yeah,
one.
and his knife is supposed to be like a building, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that poster's sick.
That
I don't
is
know why
a
the fuck they didn't make
gorgeous
that one
poster.
the poster.
I know, that should have been the main poster. That poster is phenomenal. Whoever came up with that, yo, hats off to you, man. That was fucking amazing. That was such a great poster.
I also even like the one where it's just Ghostface on the subway. I mean, like I want just like it's. I mean,
That
it's,
one's not
it's
bad.
simple, but I mean, it's effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a good poster. I mean, I get the point. So I mean, I like that poster.
Yeah.
But it's all the floating heads ones with every character shoved out of it.
That's literally only because of Marvel, dude. We have nobody to blame but Marvel.
Oh yeah. Shall we rank our opening scenes and rank the movies?
Yeah. You know, let's do our Letterboxd rankings. And the links to those will be in the description once again. All right, so I have from 1 to 6, 1, 4, 6, 3, 2, 5. John?
And then I have 1, 4, 3, 5, 2, and 6.
It's like we have some commons there. We know the
Yeah,
mid
we-
ones.
I mean, it's mostly the same. Just yeah, we flip some around. We got to do the opening scenes though.
Oh yeah, opening. Okay.
All right. So number 1 is number 1,
Mhm.
obviously. Number 2 might actually come as a surprise, but it's going to be number 6. Scream 6 is probably my second favorite.
Mhm.
Number 3, I'm honestly kind of torn between 2 and 3, but I
Mhm.
think I'm going to give it to 2. So
Mhm.
number 3 is going to be Scream 2. And then number 4 would be Scream 3. Number 5, I'm going to give to Scream 5. And then number 6, I'm going to give to Scream 4.
So I feel like I'm going to agree with you a little bit on some. So I have Scream 1, Scream 6, Scream 2, Scream 4, Scream 3, and Scream 5. Damn, Scream 1 and 6 is really hard to choose between. The classic is great, hard to beat. But man, seeing the killer right off the bat in the beginning and the very interesting way that it starts off like a date, kind of, and it's a practice kill
Yeah.
to get somebody amped up and ready, you know? I really like that.
Yeah.
You get a bit into the mind of the serial killer. So it's tough, but those are my ones right there.
I think those killers are much more interesting. I wish, honestly, they were the killers rather than the family.
No, yeah. I agree with you. That would have been far better. Alrighty, man. So that's it. Scream 4 through 6.
We did it.
We've done all of them.
We did the Scream. Hope everyone has a great day, and I hope you realize that Scream 6 is not very good. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I feel like this won't be the last time we see John. We'll definitely talk about some movies in the future. No idea what those will be.
We could talk about the Lego Batman movie.
No. It's not going to be one of my
Lego
movies.
Batman movie is epic.
No, it is. It is great. I think it's a phenomenal movie, but that's not in my category.
Why don't you want to watch a Lego Batman movie?
No, I've seen it. It's great. It's just not one I would put on my podcast.
Why? SMH.
Then you make a podcast and I'll be on there and we'll talk about it.
I will make my own podcast. I'll make my podcast called I've Seen Things. Oh wait, no, that's
I've seen things too. It's just like TOO.
Yeah. I've actually seen things as well.
I've seen more things. But yeah, I'm going to have John's socials down below, whichever ones he wants you guys to see. Most likely his letterbox. We will see John again in the future, and then we'll also have some other guests from time to time. But of course, I can't leave you guys without a fortune cookie. So I'm going to go ahead and read you one now. Consistency is the key to mastery. Do with that what you will, ladies and gentlemen. But until next time, be excellent, be kind, subscribe to the podcast.